Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week where you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real, still the real Anthony D. And your main man, Jersey's finest, the hood representative, Uncle Freezie. Y'all know what it is. We're back. We're back. Y'all know what it is. Salute everybody. So this is I'm trying to get the screen right. I'm sorry, y'all. So this is an episode of Old School Knicks with your main man, the number one Chief Rocker. We're gonna do some Old School Knicks tonight. And y'all already know what it is. I cannot do and refuse to talk Old School Knicks without my main man, Anthony D. Still, the real Anthony D is in the building.
Absolutely.
What's good, boss?
Salute. What's good? What's good with you? What's new?
Hey, first of all, you refer to me as champ.
Excuse me, champ. Champion.
Hey,
champion, sir. What's good with you? What's new?
What's good, champ?
Well, I don't know. I was just sitting back, picking out the seeds from my weed. I wasn't
doing tell us nothing, bro.
I really wasn't doing much. Y'all lucky. I felt easy. I didn't want to crack another bottle on the heads tonight. It's still early. It is early.
NBA, y'all got 364 more days of this. I'm sorry.
It's forever. I don't give a damn who win it next year. It's like, you remember this movie, Everybody's Favorite American? It's an old 80s movie about a football star and the queen and the prom queen or whatever. And there was a new prom queen the next year.
Yeah.
And they had him to give out the award. He went up there. He said, "I'm sorry, but this is always going to be the Magnolia Queen." I'm sorry. We are
always.
Salute, Knick Nation. I'm so sorry.
The New York Knicks are the 2026 NBA champs, and there's nothing nobody can do about it.
They tried. They gave a good effort. They tried to take it from us in every way, every shape possible. And as I continue to rewatch the highlights and the games, not just the championship, but just the entire road. So, the destiny of it all. And I'm going to get there with Dolan. I'm going to get there, or we're going to get there with Dolan. But to see them just to focus, Freezie, to lock in the way we've never seen any other team lock in like this. I'm not questioning the levels of superstars on other teams or whatever. We know who they are. We know what they've done. Okay? But I'm talking about the collection.
Right.
The collective manner. One through whatever.
Right.
Whenever someone came on the court, it was a focus. Even if they wasn't successful at that time, they still kept maintaining, Look at the Cleveland series, down 22. Everyone pretty much, I'm the biggest Knicks fan you know. You're the biggest Knicks fan I know, right? I was like, all right, y'all on this bullshit. We're going to get back. But that's not what it was for them. They kept chipping away till the point of we snatched their hearts. You know what it is to go to your own home and you're relaxing, and another man, somebody else just walks up into your house, walks into your refrigerator, kisses your wife goodnight. That's what we did to Cleveland.
Right.
In a sort of way, we emasculated them.
Right.
Right? In front of everybody. Yet still, people couldn't believe it. Okay? Yeah. Wait till we get to the West. We ain't really played nobody. When we get to the West, they're going to show us how the West was won. I'm going to tell you how the West was lost. There's a new sheriff in town. And his name? Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. Hey, D, you know what makes me laugh about this series? About this playoff run? What made me laugh about this playoff run is that these teams. Now, just I want you to bear with me for a moment. It's a really short journey, I promise.
Go on it, baby.
Man, you ever notice cigars taste so much better when you're the champ? Cigars taste so much better when you're the champ.
Everything tastes better. Food tastes better.
Everything tastes better when you're the champ.
Everything is better. And I do mean everything.
Everything.
Everything is better. Everything is better.
But at the beginning of this playoff run, we beat Atlanta in game 1, right? And Atlanta's like, you know what, game 1, they supposed to win. They the higher seed, they supposed to win at least one. We got to steal one. They stole one, and then they won one at home, right? And then they're up two games to 1, and they're like, we got the Knicks right where we want them, right? So even if we don't win game 4, they got to beat us on our own floor. Surprise, Atlanta Hawks. Like, this is not how it's going to go. Y'all tried to we should have swept y'all, but y'all tried to embarrass us on national TV.
Yeah.
Right? Like a little brother. Y'all tried to embarrass us on national TV. Yeah. Whatever. We dust up Atlanta. It's a first-round series, right? But we dust up Atlanta. Detroit go 7 games. Boston go 7 games. And you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is looking at this thing for what it is. Like, we dominated the rest of the Atlanta series. Everybody else is struggling, right? It's okay. We get Philly, right? Philly knock off Boston. And Philly is like, y'all not going to do us like that. And then we win our first 2 on our floor. And they're like, but when we get back to Philly, and their arena holds 20,500 people, and about 65% of those fans that were there,
about 18,500 Knicks fans,
were Knicks fans, bro. We don't play no games, bro. Like legitimately, like, we sweep Philly, right? Philly come out, they doing all the tricks of the trade, right? Would you expect playoff level coaches to do? Empty the bag because there's no tomorrow, right? So they empty their bag, and we beat them so bad in game 3 that game 4, you can tell they was just going through the mud. Their heart was already in Cancun. But Cleveland see that, and Cleveland like, we see what y'all did to Atlanta. We see what y'all did to Philly, but we not them.
We're not them.
And so we take the first 2 on our floor because we're the upper seed, the highest seed. We go to Cleveland. Cleveland's like, y'all not getting ready to come in here. Wait. Y'all blowing us out on our own floor in game 3. You can clearly see in that game 3 in Cleveland that they were checked out in game 3. Like Tory B say, salute to the incomparable Tory B. she made up this phrase. I'm gonna give her credit for it. She said, "The light legit went out in their eyes."
Yeah.
They didn't have any fight left after game 3.
Yeah.
And so we beat Cleveland. And then there's San Antonio. And San Antonio says, man, the Eastern Conference is weak. Y'all not about to come in here and, oh, wait a minute. Y'all the lower seed? The lower seeded team goes into the higher seeded house and win the first 2 games of the series. And here we are. Now here we are on Lawrence Tier's Old School Knicks. Not talking about Charles Smith. Smoking. Not talking about John Starks. Right? We not talking about John Starks missing 2 free throws in the game and the famous Reggie Miller choke game. We're not talking about that. We're talking about how the hell champagne prices skyrocketed after the Knicks win the championship.
Freezie, the day of, right? I go to load up to pregame. Go to one of my neighborhood, wholesales, whatever. I get in there and I'm like, what is going on here? Where the hell is the Mo, the Flo, the Joe? What is going on here? Dude was like, no, it's been all day. It's been all day. I'm like, all right, fine. Let's give me whatever you got right now.
Right.
I ain't even gonna lie. I don't even know about Don Presco.
Right.
But that Don Presco tastes sweet as a motherfucker, boy. I ain't gonna lie to you. 7:15 in the morning, baby. 7:15
in the morning, everybody.
Early. It tastes so much better.
Man,
you know what I mean? When you were champion, and we're not gonna dampen, but you know where we coming from. We all know where we coming from. And what it took to get here. So when I saw the Dolan video, right? And it touched me.
Yeah.
And it touched me in a way of, here's a man in a roundabout way is kind of admitting the mistakes that he made in the past and why you have to be locked in without mentioning the mistakes he made in the past.
Right.
Because when you're talking about locking in as an organization, right? You to win, to accomplish the goal, you'd have had to gone through some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you're acting like you're J. Paul Getty or somebody. No media, no nothing. We ain't talking.
Right.
I don't care about you. You don't care about me. The only body will talk will be me every now and again. No one else gets to speak until game day, whatever. But he comes full circle, like in that moment, and it touched me, and I'm like, it's believable. It's not because he's the owner and he's standing in front there. Of course he's the owner. He can stand in front when the fuck he wants to. Call a timeout during the game and walk down there and give a pep talk if he wants to.
Right.
Right? I saw Ted Turner do it during the game.
You remember Ted Turner?
Came down there, took over the game.
Right.
While he was in the press in the box doing commentating.
I paid John Contract all that money. Yeah.
So no, I can do this better.
Yeah.
Right? He could have done far worse.
Right.
But to see him asking the team to put aside, vices or whatever to lock in for 10 weeks or whatever it is,
Right.
you know, and he didn't say y'all, us, we as an organization need to do that in order, because it is going to change their lives. It did change their lives.
Right.
Forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what it would have felt like? Let's look at our players now, right? In any order. You know what it would have felt like for Josh Hart? One of the all-time beloved Knicks up until those two infamous moments in key parts of the game. He literally, in one shot, could have eclipsed Charles Smith and Ewing at the same time.
And starts all at the
And
same
start
time.
at the same time.
Yeah.
He'd have had to move.
Yeah.
Right?
Wrong.
And right there, they dug down even further.
Yep.
You saw him at the press conference afterwards.
He was quiet as a church mouse, bro.
The man was in shock.
Yep.
Man was shell shocked. Because he knows, and he said it, this is the lightest the jersey has ever felt.
Yep. Yep.
Right? So
Bro.
everything, if they weren't at that, what Dolan called for, that lock in, stay together.
Yeah.
It could have fell apart right there.
They could have fell apart, bro.
Right there. And we'd have been back to being Blanche Tears. We may have to change that. We may have to add on to the name. I think we got to add on to the name, Freezie. It can't be Blanche Tears anymore. Blanche Tears?
Hey, tears of joy, brother.
You know,
tears of joy, because I don't know if y'all
tears
did
of
it.
Joy? Okay.
Yeah,
tears of joy?
Yeah, because I ain't gonna lie, bro.
We ain't crying no more.
I had a moment, bro. When I saw Cat and Pat Ewing hugging, bruh. When I saw Pat and Cat hugging, bro.
Ewing held him like his firstborn.
Bro.
That man yelled. That man let out a primal yell. You could see it. You know what I mean? You could feel it. You know?
Right.
It shook. I was shook since game 4. I'm shaking.
Bro.
My knees is wobbling. My knees is wobbling like death. That's how bad I'm in. My knees is wobbling. My knees is wobbling and I'm sitting down.
Right.
How do your knees wobble when you're sitting down?
Bro.
See OG Anunoby come through the sky. Just come through the sky, Freezie. Lord, if he had ever slammed it. But that was just perfect. It didn't need a slam.
You didn't need, yeah.
It was just
a great painting don't need a frame, bro. Like this is what
it don't need a signature.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Don't need a signature.
A great steak don't need sauce. Bro, when you get your Bentley, you don't need aftermarket rims. You know what I'm saying?
You may still need the Dyson.
Well, I mean,
you know, I always keep a pair of dice.
Bro, I was just to say this about Josh, to your point about Josh, I've been wanting to say this about because it's been mentioned before, and I never had the wherewithal to mention it. Bro, when Josh missed that shot, you saw that team come together, bro. Like that team, they were playing for their brother, right? They were playing for their brother, bro. And you saw, bro, the way they were fouling Brunson and Bridges down the floor, they refused to give up that basketball, bro. Because here's the thing. It's not like that one play of Josh turned the thing, because we were missing free throws down the stretch too, right? We were missing free throws down the stretch. But in that moment where you saw Josh have that snafu, bro, you seen brothers unite, bro. You saw brothers unite. They were playing for each other. Like they were playing for each other before that, but they shifted into a gear, bro. Like you can tell these dudes play for each other. This is not like about one dude, what's his future going to be? Some guy's going to lead a franchise and blow. No. Man, these dudes is playing for each other, bro.
No. They just playing for each other. All the way through, every man down. Like I said, that play right there, you could live in infamy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You could really, I remember the late Donnie Moore with the Angels.
Oh.
When he gives up that home run to Henderson in the bottom of the ninth, to Henderson in the bottom of the ninth, 2 strikes.
A daytime game. They were playing in the daytime, bro.
Daytime playoff game, right? Yeah. Donnie Moore was a top closer. That almost sent him, we look, sometimes when you look away from sports and you're like, for people who don't love sports, like, why are they so passionate? Like, you're not getting paid. You're not, if you're not the one out there shooting. You're caught up in real life drama.
Yeah.
Right? This is like a real, I don't want to say an American tale, but sports for us, we've been following it. Grandfather, father,
right,
uncles, aunts, nieces, whoever your mans in them, you were fighting about players and this, that, and the third. It's embedded in you, from your sports memorabilia down to your baseball cards. I once collected like 3,000 baseball cards in one single fucking off season. I ate a lot of fake bubble gum.
But yeah, you
you know what I'm saying? This is you in the car when the game is on the radio. So someone has to paint the picture for you with a voice that kind of goes along, that's helping you understand. And, while in your own mind's eye, you understand what I'm saying? This is where the passion and the love comes from.
Right.
You can't help it. You grow up taking sides.
Yep.
I go to the courts every day. It's the same argument. Who's better, Ewing, Elijah, or Robinson? Of course, It's Ewing.
Yeah.
I don't care if Pat went 0 for 9 the other night. Of course, it's Ewing.
Of course, it's Pat.
What are we talking about? Because that's how sports was, especially then. A line is drawn in the sand. I've never owned a pair of Jordans in my life. It's cut to the bone.
Yep.
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
It's either you're Knicks or you're not.
Yeah.
So when we sip what we sipping and we smoking what we smoking, we know why.
Absolutely.
We know why. When you see John Starks out there, you know, hugging and running all over the place or whatever, he knows why. He knows he's never going to have that moment again to accomplish what this team accomplished, what they couldn't.
Right. Right.
But to Dolan's credit again, the family is back. Okay? You don't even know what role Patrick Ewing has. He with the team.
Yeah. You know, he's present.
They asked him, Pat, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just here.
I'm here.
And for the record, there's nothing wrong with being Fat Cat, because we had Fat Cat in the organization for years. Every organization has like a Fat Cat. Like, yo, what Fat Cat do? I don't know, man, but you better not do such and such unless you ask Fat Cat. Like, you don't know. Right? You don't know. To your point, to the point about Josh, though, real quick. And just real quick about Josh. The moment Josh Hart blew that bunny, you could see him do oh my God, and then refocus back into the game and try to stay in the game, right? All at the same time. Because there was a message sent like, bro, we just got to keep playing. Just keep playing, right? I'll say this about the Josh Hart thing. Hey, bro, things happen. If it was another city and that happened, they probably, they'd be like, hey, he was going too fast. He was out of control, man. He just blew a layup, man. Things happen. In New York City, bro, they would have had to trade him, bro. They would have had to get Josh out of it. And if the Knicks would have lost that series, then we would have been burning number 3. Everybody with a number 3 jersey would have been burning that number 3 jersey. But at the same time, that didn't happen. And it's because the Knicks are the best team in basketball. Right? And we can say it in a lot of different ways. We can say it like, hey, we did it this way, we did it that way, we did it a number of different ways, we did it, blah, blah, blah. It don't matter how we did it. The fact remains, the Knicks won 16 games before they lost 4 games in a series. The Knicks won 16 games, and they lost 3 games by a total of 6 points. This is destiny. This is what was meant to be. Right? Absolutely. New York, man. New York, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something, and I know y'all hadn't heard this yet, or maybe I'm joking with y'all, but, hey, congratulations to the 2026 NBA champion, New York Knicks. And no matter how many times I say it or how many times I hear it aloud, it still has not sunk in yet.
It makes you giddy.
Bro,
fuck you, haters.
Right. All y'all haters go watch the draft.
I can't. Someone reminded me of a family member. I'm not gonna call her out. How, she called, and was trying to get her Knicks gear and so forth, and and I said, it's all right, because she was she abandoned the ship so many years ago, and she called and congratulated us, and I thought it was very big.
Right.
I thought it was very big because The race is not for the swift. It's who can endure. And a lot of people over the years, I knew people who became Golden State fans overnight. I knew people who became LeBron James fans.
Oh my God.
You know, that goes on and on. You understand? And just not believing. And I get it. A lot of years there wasn't nothing to believe in. But Ralphie, remember this, and this is to your comment about Ewing wearing Jordans or whatever. It just, again, it cut that line. Is either you with us or you not.
Right.
You understand? And I'm not telling people what to wear and whatever. I'm talking about from my personal own experience.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you see Trent Tucker hit a 4-point play and you're thinking, dear God, the worm is about to turn. And yet, 2 seconds later, the refs are giving to him what they were giving to Wembanyama. You understand? So that's what I'm talking about. Like, we've stayed, for those of us who've been there from then and from whenever you came on, you stayed the course.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't leave to go for someplace else just to go. Like, to those fans, I wanna ask y'all, like, you were long Knicks fans and you left to go someplace else. Was it satisfying? You think you feel the way I feel today?
No, can't. No, impossible.
You think those rings someplace else when you left and whatever?
Right.
And some of y'all left and came back?
Right.
It's not the same. There's levels to this. So when you see Freezie there sitting back and smoking a cigar, and he's not trying to, he really told me to unleash on y'all today.
Hey, Victor, sweet taste
he really told me to
victory.
Unleash on y'all today, but I'm not going to, because that's not what it's about. You know what I mean? It's not what it's about. It can be about that. For a lot of fans, it is about that.
AD, you remember when the Knicks had a point guard out of Georgetown named Michael Jackson? look like Malcolm Brogdon. You remember Malcolm Brogdon? Michael Jackson looked like
Malcolm Brogdon. How do you
point guard in church shoes?
Yo, to Michael Brogdon, how do you feel retiring right before? If you played one game, you would have got a ring. Crazy. If the man played one game, he'd have got a ring.
Thank you. You know,
he'd have been on the roster.
Bro, the reason why this is so sweet to me is because the Knicks had always been the validation franchise. Like, you're not good unless you do something diabolical to the Knicks. Like, you can't win the MVP. Like, there was a time where you couldn't win an MVP if you didn't put up 50 in the Garden. Right? Like, if you didn't have your signature moment in the Garden, you couldn't be the MVP. I remember guys used to come in here and take 38 shots, bro, to try to get 50 points, bro, in the Garden. Right? And it's now the tide has turned so much so that the Knicks are the most likable. The Knicks have the most likable roster in the league. Like, there is no one guy on the roster you could just point at and say you hate because he's a bad person. Right? A bad guy. Like, you can't say, OG, be undercutting people, man. He took out somebody. Nah. Now all these guys are likable guys. It's difficult for the national media to create narratives about this team because this is a team of hardworking individuals that play for each other, right? They don't have an alien on it. There's no 7'7" guy. There is no 6'6" guy that jumps out of the building, right? There is no 7'2", 325-pound man that dunks everything in sight. The Knicks don't have that, bro. But what they do have is a bunch of smart dudes that play together, right? That take orders and follow them. That's what they do. They play smart basketball and they never stop coming at you, bro. They never stop. Like the thing that Cleveland learned, the thing that the Sixers learned, the thing that the Spurs learned, the Spurs had a 29-point lead, right? They had a 14-point lead with 7 minutes left to go. And the Knicks beat them. Because the Knicks never take their foot off the gas. Right? And this is what championship teams used to be made of. Now, you know, the league has endorsed like these guys, if they flop all over the floor 50 times a game, they can win MVP and maybe win the chip. But there used to be a time where the championship DNA was about 10 or 12 guys playing together all the time, giving 100%, playing smart basketball, and following a smart coach and coaching staff. That used to be the formula. Surprise, NBA. That's the formula once again. That's the formula. The Knicks are showing people how to do this. And the Knicks are the best at it. The Knicks are the best at it. The New York Knicks, whether people like them or dislike them, are the 2026 NBA champs because everybody sacrificed for each other. Where some guys used to be 20-point scorers, they sacrificed to play better defense. Some guys that maybe scored 45 in a game, maybe their defense was off a little bit. They played their rumps off defensively to their standard. Right? You saw Jalen Brunson play his behind off to his standard. He played above what he normally plays on defense. Cat's defense was phenomenal since January 1st. Phenomenal. Right? OG and all them guys that know that they can average 20 points a game. What's 20 points a game if your team's going to be in a lottery? But what if you score 16 points a game, play elite defense, and make all crucial game-winning plays? There's a difference. There's a difference to that. Like I'll point out an example to AD. And it may not be the right example, but I'm just going to say this. The Celtics used to dominate in the 80s, right? And people think it was just Larry Bird, just Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson went. Dennis Johnson got there a little bit later coming from Phoenix. Danny Ainge got there a little bit later. But the Celtics had a guy named Cedric Cornbread Maxwell that used to make all these little plays. You like all the loose balls, all the deflections, all the charges, all of that. So you're like, dang, they must have 7 of them cornbread dudes all over the place. You got to have dudes that's going to sacrifice their game for the greater good. And the Knicks have that. The Knicks have that.
In abundance.
And they're young.
In abundance, Freezie. And to your point of them being likable, right? I want to touch on that in particular with Cat. I was having this conversation earlier today. When Cat got here, you know, the moniker was that he's soft. You know, he's getting a lot of pep talks. Don't get me wrong. We love to see mentorship, you know, especially from the guys who've been through it and so forth, you know. So I'm not talking about it from that angle.
Right.
But people were trying to get Cat to be something that he wasn't. Cat's not a tough guy. Cat's goofy.
Right.
Cat's intelligent.
Right.
Cat's articulate.
Right.
Right? You saw Cat the other night giving off his Marvin Hagler, talking about boxing and going in his bag.
Right.
Some executive next summer or whenever this run stops, and we gonna get there.
Right.
If this run stops, it's gonna be like, hey, it's a bright and intelligent young man.
Right.
Thoughtful. Speaks pretty well.
Yeah.
He gonna get a job down the line someplace else. He gonna be able to write his ticket in other ways. Why? Because he's not out there being a moron.
Right.
He ain't trying to be Bodega Cat.
Right. Right.
He ain't from no hood.
No, he's not from no hood. None of them dudes, bro. None of these dudes, bro.
You understand? He ain't from that. So when you hear what people trying to criticize, like a certain kind of, like, you got to let him, what he was talking about with him in the offense, he wasn't talking about scoring. He was saying, I just need to be involved more. I can do more things in this manner.
Right.
Right? And somebody went back and looked at the footage of that tape and was like, hey, he could pass a little bit.
He could always pass, though. That's his thing.
Yeah, but no one saw it like that.
Right.
It was force him down to the post, force him down to the post, force him down to the post, force him down to the post.
Right.
But yet you're not creating the necessary diagram to get him into the post like that.
Right.
See what I'm saying? And you're wasting time when he's telling you, I could hit OG on the wing. I could hit OG on the back cut. I could hit Bridges.
Yep.
When a lot of people wasn't really noticing this, when Jalen Brunson goes to the shooting guard position, you got to be fearful for your ribs when he come up on that back cut. Right?
Yep.
These are all things off of other versions of what you're trying to accomplish that he was saying that I can do.
Cat had 9 lives the entire time. I don't know why people didn't, But AD, to the point that's on the floor, these players were doing whatever it took to win. So if Cat had to be a different version of himself in order for the team to win, he did it. He did it the game, the championship game, the game 5. Cat played 23 minutes, had 10 rebounds, 3 steals, and a block, without being in the flow of the offense. The referees made sure he was not. That was 3 games in a 5-game series that they legislated Cat out of the game, and he still somehow found a way to contribute. Right. And so while I'm not making this a epilogue about Cat, because everyone picked up the pieces, right? Everyone picked up the pieces. Jalen Brunson's defense to me was nothing short of superb. Right. Nothing short for him. Right. For him, nothing short. He hedged out high and sprinted back to his recovery spot.
Amazing, right? Freezie.
Right. Like this guy, I mean, everyone did their thing. Everyone did their thing. Even in a late game situation where the Knicks skill players were choking, or not choking, but missing free throws, Mitchell Robinson grabbed an offensive rebound surrounded by 3 Spurs and another on the way.
The biggest rebound in Knicks history. The biggest rebound in my eyes.
Yep.
That The only thing that goes next to that, and maybe that may be second, was the Ewing putback. Because
against Indiana.
Against Indiana, because that sent them to the finals. So
yeah, that sent them to the finals.
Yeah, my correction, in my eyes at least. So there's other fans who go back even further than I do, and so forth. But that, that might have got Mitch that next contract.
Hey man, but here's the thing. Here's the thing to that, y'all.
I'm all in. Leaky oil and all. I'm all in.
If you ask James Dolan, what are you gonna do with this $80 million? Would you rather pay for a championship or give it to Mitchell Robinson? He's got to say, bro, Mitch was worth it, because $80 million can't buy you a chip. But you know what it can do? It can get you a Mitchell Robinson that can get you the greatest rebounder of all time. You got to pay Mitch, bro. You got to pay Mitch, right? You got to pay him, because the thing is, we can talk about monies. We can talk about money and pennies and dollar for dollar and a lot of different things, right? But the thing that you can't put money on is what y'all see outside. When y'all look outside and see New York, y'all see that? Y'all see New York?
It's crazy.
Yo, you can't put a price tag on that, man. Y'all see this cigar Uncle Freezie smoking?
This summer, Freezie, it's not just this week. It's not just this weekend, last weekend coming up. It's like, I said this before. If you remember one of our shows earlier, I said that when we win the championship, the effects afterwards you're gonna see how New York rolls out its champions. Okay? And what they're gonna be able to accomplish just in notoriety. We've talked about us having an international fan base, and other fans, some other teams are like, y'all ain't got no international fan base. I'm like, oh, really? Oh, really? Did you see them watch parties internationally?
Bro.
Did you see them watch parties in the... Why?
The Lakers ain't got that. The Celtics ain't got that, bro.
The Celtics ain't got that. This is the highest ratings they've had since Jesus was a baby. Why? Because it's New York and it's the Knicks.
Because it's the Knicks, bro.
It's what I used to, it's the value of having that New York steam. And I don't care what no one says. I don't give a damn. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a native New Yorker. You heard me playing Native New Yorker Odyssey when I got on here. I'm just telling you.
Shout out to the native New Yorkers too.
I'm just telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna talk our shit. There ain't nothing like the New York steam. Ask Derek Jeter. Joe Namath won a Super Bowl 80 years ago.
80 years ago. Still
eating.
It ain't got to buy a drink nowhere. Not only Joe Namath won a Super Bowl when I was one. I think I don't know if I was one yet. Maybe, I don't know. A baby, right? A baby. Joe Namath can still go in any restaurant, eat what he want, drink what he want, and then when he get too tipsy to drive, they'll pay for the cab too.
When that New York steam is behind you, who is making guest appearances over, and once a Knick, always a Knick, so all wounds are healed, right? Who did you see sprinkling all over the place this past week?
Oakley.
No. Oh, we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Jeremy Lin.
Jeremy Lin.
All of a sudden, Lin sanity's all over the place. Him and Melo breaking bread, making peace, yada yada bang.
Right.
Look what the New York steam did for an unknown in a matter of a week.
Right.
You understand? So when I say this championship lasts forever, it's going to last forever because we know how to write a story. We know how to celebrate our champions. When the documentary of this comes out,
I might miss work, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I might take 4 days off.
It's gonna be like a 10-part series.
Yeah, I'm a binge watch the hell out that, bro. I promise you.
It's gonna be like a 10-part series because why? We know how to do it. We've done it before.
When Jay Mars does the documentary, bro, it's gonna be amazing, bro.
Yeah. So you seeing, him and, you mentioned Charles Oakley, and I talked about Oakley before last week on the show, and I was very passionate about how I felt about him and his existence at the time or whatever. But it was good to see him at the game because I know it meant something to him. How could it not be at the game? But he was like the lost child. You could see your family and you can't go over there. You just can't go.
It shouldn't be like that, bro.
It shouldn't be like that. But that's what it is at this moment. He was, standing there. They had the shot of him on the other side of the court. I mean, seeing him there, it wasn't painful for me, but I just remember feeling like he just looked like, they're telling you, you're welcome, but you're not welcome. Sorry, but not sorry.
Man, I would like to, and listen, and thank you for bringing it up and saying it the way that you said it. Right, because in my heart, I know Oakley is a bully. Like Oakley don't have a bully reputation for not being a bully, right? I know and understand that. I can appreciate who he is. Now, a couple of years ago, maybe not so much, but right now, as we get older and mature, we do realize that man, when he was a Knick, he absolutely gave you 110% of everything he had for the Knicks. And after he was traded to Toronto, like nobody talked to him like they did business as usual. They treated Oakley like another traded player when they shouldn't have. For one, that's where it starts. It don't start with Dolan and him having a dust up or whatever. It starts with the way he exited. Right? Remember, Oakley wasn't here for the 99 thing.
He was initially mad at the return when he came back. Because if you remember, they showed like a tribute or to him and whatever, but it was at halftime or something like that, I think. And he was in the locker room. I don't even think he knew about it until like after he came out or some shit like that.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a welcome back, the general.
You don't get your applause. You don't get to stand.
No, it wasn't. If I remember, somebody in the chat correct me if I'm not remembering it right. But I remember it like that, like it, and it kind of started from there. It might have even started before then. Right. But it kind of, because he didn't want to be traded.
No, he didn't want to be traded.
Knick fans
retire a Knick.
When we heard that Charles Oakley was traded for Marcus Camby, I'm not gonna lie to you. Freezie. I was kind of like,
We get younger, more athletic, and faster.
I can't lie to you, Freezie.
Right.
I was like, okay, this is interesting because he doesn't come from that mold of, the concrete jungle, We've documented Marcus Camby on these airwaves tremendously, but
yeah,
Oakley, just to be with Oakley, fans were like, it took the 99 run to kind of forget about it.
yeah.
And since then, it hasn't been. Here's the thing, and I don't want to take sides, okay? Because it's an ugly situation, right? But Oak, my guy, number 34, you have to take some accountability here, my guy.
Right.
You gotta take some, as a man, you gotta take some accountability.
Right.
If you don't want to say you were in the wrong that night in the Garden or whatever.
Hey, fine.
But we're talking about after. The constant badgering of Ewing.
Right.
The constant, you got to be able to take some accountability and like, how can I bring you home if you're behaving like this?
Right. Right.
When people, look, when you see Charles Oakley out and about and on these different podcasts, when they talk about Charles Oakley and so forth, it's always about these vainglorious stories of Oakley,
right,
setting dudes correct on and off the floor.
Right.
And they're constantly projecting this same image. He's 60 fucking 5 years old.
Let's go. Come on, Oak. Come on, Oak. Come on, man.
When do you stop?
When do you stop, bro? Because the thing is, and this is what I say to because there are content creators out there that have the same issue. Like they want to say bad things about the Knicks and say bad things about people that say positive things about the Knicks and then still want to be around. Right? Like you're not going to have both. Like you can't, like Oakley, even at 65, and say you can blame it on intensity. Say it's your personality, right? Ben Wallace played for Chicago Bulls, bro. When Ben Wallace's contract was up with Detroit, they lowballed him out of town, right? You know what Ben Wallace did? He played out the rest of his career. Guess who was in the front row for the Detroit Pistons when the playoffs started? Ben Wallace. And I say Ben Wallace specifically because Charles Oakley mentored Ben Wallace. Right? He mentored Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace left Detroit mad as hell, went to play out the rest of his career, and blah, blah, blah. And over the years, they mended fences that should never have been built. Right? Oakley, you can step into MSG and into Knicks Universe right now and say, listen, what was in the past is in the past. I want to be with my people. And you know what? And nobody will say a word about how fucking Carl Herrera roasted your ass and you cost us a championship in '94. AD, you know I'm petty. But now keeping it in a stack. If all he has to say is, listen, hey man, we all had stuff going on. There are no innocent parties here. Right? Dolan's not innocent. MSG's not innocent. Oakley's not innocent. Other guys adjacent, Sprewell, you know what I'm saying? Nobody is innocent in this whole thing, right? But we're at an age where we have to be the bigger people. Some of these people that know the Oakley saga never saw Oakley play. Like some of these Knicks fans now that see the things going on with a former Knicks player and him being bitter. Some of those people they never saw Oakley play. They never saw Oakley I saw Charles Oakley run into a crowd of 5 Atlanta Hawks and wrestle away a rebound. I saw it with my own eyes. 5 Atlanta Hawks on the boards. And if y'all remember the Atlanta Hawks back in the day with John Koncak and Blair Rasmussen and Tree Rollins and Kevin Willis and Dominique Wilkins, they had a big front line. And I saw Oakley run into a crowd and grab a rebound amongst like 3 7-footers, risking his body, blood, sweat, and tears.
A tremendous brute force type of ball player, model of those late 80s, 90s, even early in the 70s type of power forward. He comes from that mold. You know, he was even a little bit better offensively than given credit for, because I remember him picking up the slack when Ewing gets thrown out of a playoff game against the Nets, I think. Right? Oakley has like 20 and 20.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? This is not, he wasn't just that. He wasn't just like some bruiser you bring on the court and that was just it. No, he had game.
He was not Precious Achua.
No.
He was not Quincy Acey. This dude was a building block. We got him in his 4th year in the league. When we got Oakley, he was not even in his prime.
Tremendous
trade. Traded away one of Uncle Freezie's favorite Knicks of all time to get him. I remember watching Inside Stuff. I remember watching this show, Inside Stuff, with Ahmad Rashad. I don't know if y'all remember that or not, but I remember watching Ahmad Rashad say, and last night the New York Knicks pulled off the trade of the season. They traded away longtime veteran Bill Cartwright. I was like, no! For Charles Oakley.
They were able to get low key.
And then they drafted Gerard Mustaf the next year.
No, but low key, that trade, I believe, begot Rod Strickland as well. I think that's how they got the number 19th pick the following year after Jackson's rookie year.
Yeah, that was weird.
Because the starting power forward was Sidney Green.
Oh my God damn it.
My bad.
Oh my God. Oh.
The starting power forward was Sidney Green, and they had just gave him, like back then, that was a big contract, like a 5-year, $5 million contract. And you know, Sidney's from Brooklyn. Sidney was coming home, and we thought we were getting UNLV Sidney. And yeah, so that trade, if I remember correctly, we got Oakley and the 1st round pick, which would end up being Strickland. Rod.
Real talk.
You know.
Yep. Real talk.
That Sidney Green stunted you.
Real talk. That whole stitch of context just now just made me real talk, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Real talk, right? The Knicks have the number 19 pick, right? And we don't have guards that can shoot. Right?
No.
We don't have guards that can shoot, right? No. We don't have guards that can create their own shot and, you know what I'm saying, take over a game or whatever. And I'm thinking, this is the perfect time. Wait a minute, they drafted Rod Strickland. Now, I never had a thing against Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland is an excellent guy, right? I never had a thing against Rod Strickland. I did have a beef with them taking that pick. Because if for those that remember, Gerald Wilkins couldn't shoot. That's all I'm just gonna say. No, and Gerald Wilkins is at the game. Gerald Wilkins is a part of the family now. He was a little bit bitter.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Like, because remember, they wanted to flip places. Like, hey, Gerald, man, you come off the bench behind Starks, man, and he's like, nah, I ain't coming off the bench for no fucking Starks. That dude used to bag groceries, like
basically.
You know,
I'm not doing that. And you know, some team called him the Jordan stopper, and away we go. away we go. But just to go back with Oakley, I don't know who can mend this. I heard, earlier I heard Perk was talking about JB can mend it. I don't know if I really want JB in the middle of that.
Right.
And from Dolan's side, because I don't want to just put this all on Charles. I don't want to do that. Can't do that.
Right.
What can you do to reach out to help mend this? Because from what I understand, they both like suing each other.
Yeah.
What does this take?
Right.
Is this a monetary thing? Is this just let me look you eye to eye and be like, yo, I know the scene was ugly, but you got out of control. Right. I'm sorry. Is that what it is?
Right. See, but
like what is it? Because like we said earlier, everybody is back, baby. What does Larry Johnson do? I don't know. What's John Starks do? I don't know. Sprewell? I don't know. Canby? I don't know. Marbury? I don't know.
But the Knicks have been mending fences since Leon Rose has been there, bro.
Yes.
He's been mending fences. And I heard Dolan say out of his own mouth, why can't both sides just get in the room and talk it out? Now, I heard Dolan say that. Now, did he say that for the press? I mean, I don't know. You never know what's in people's heart, right? But if this is just a thing about Oakley, just like, hey man, I just didn't like. I flipped out because I felt like the way we would treat it was wrong. Well, Oakley, you did assault like some MSG employees.
You did assault like 8 people.
Right? Like, come on, Oak.
You're standing there looking like Luke Cage.
Right.
You hit one guy in the face, bam. Hit another guy in the face, bam. Hit 2 guys in the face, bam, bam, bam. And I think he hit a couple of police officers as well.
Yeah, he did. Bro, that's what I'm saying. Dolan shouldn't have said maybe Oakley was drunk. He probably shouldn't have said that. But they shoved the microphone dead in his face while the thing going on. Right?
It's just an ugly scene, and like I said, I don't know how it gets mended, but both parties need to take some accountability. If it's ever going to be mended, both parties have to take some accountability. Bro, it's nothing for the Knicks to be like, come home.
Right.
What you want to do? You want to do community outreach, gang intervention, violence? What you want to do?
But he has got to be amenable to doing these things.
But I'm like, how you want to be here? What you want to do? But here's what we just can't do. Okay? We're no longer going to tolerate you badgering the organization. Okay? So if you come home and we say it's okay to come home and all is well, when you go home or whatever, and somebody sticks a mic in your face and you got another book coming out or whatever, we don't want to hear anything about Ewing.
Right.
We don't want to hear how you felt, whatever.
Right.
All has to be done. You can't, there's a lot of times you ever break bread with somebody and you think, well, you good again? And right after you done, a couple weeks later, this motherfucker just did the same shit we talked about.
Yeah.
I thought we was good. It can't be one of those type of situations.
Nah, it can't be. And mind you, when Knicks fans think Oakley, they think New York Knicks. When NBA fans think Derek Harper, they think Dallas Mavericks. Right? Derek Harper is another lemon drop. right?
Have you seen Derek Harper? He's another one that has not been around. Guess why?
Because he's not a Knick.
But when you get on that, look, I know how you feel. I know how you know how I feel. But when you get on that microphone, Freezie, okay, and whatever your feelings may be privately, all of a sudden you start to air them out in front of millions and millions of people. Instead of let me have a conversation. Can my agent reach out to whatever? What's the problem? Did we have? Is it what's going on? How do we fix this? How do you go on? And Derek did this too to Ewing.
Right. And but I don't understand how Derek Harper did this to Ewing when in the beginning of the series his blown coverages was leaving Sam Cassell wide open.
It's the reason why they don't. It's legit the reason why they don't have they didn't have a championship before. People forget about that.
This man, Derek Harper, legit fat. No, I love Oakley, but I'm disappointed. Derek Harper.
It's the reason why, like sometimes you have to be. There was no bigger detractor than Latrell Sprewell. Right? Somehow, some way, him and Dolan get back on the same page.
Yeah.
I remind people, Stephon Marbury's father had a heart attack in the Garden. Stephon Marbury was part of a case that cost the Garden $11.8 million. He home again, right?
Up front with the Knicks alumni.
Sometimes you gotta grow up,
bro. Because some things, bro, it's not.
Sometimes you just have to grow up. Like I said, look what Stephon went through here. It wasn't all Knicks management fault. It wasn't all Stephon's fault, right? If you want to go back and go through all the ugly details, we know what happened. We know what forced them to China and da-da-da-da, right? But it wasn't about that. When it was time to mend fences, now they're in business together.
And Marbury wasn't even here for that long, bro.
No.
Marbury was here 4 years? Maybe 4 years?
4?
6 years? Something?
4.
Four. It's like 4 years, right?
I think 4.
Yeah, like and it's like and maybe two and a half of them he was a starter.
Yeah, you got Jamal Crawford guest appearances doing games.
Steve Novak, bro.
What do you remember from the Jamal Crawford era?
The lottery.
There's so many of these guys.
What's the always? My bad, AD. I got to bring up the guy named the guy the Knicks drafted. Marbury said the Knicks need a power forward, and John Thomas. The Knicks drafted a light-skinned power forward, 6'7", that can jump out of the gym, and they drafted a power forward out of Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the time, the undersized power forward was the chic thing, the Charles Barkley archetype was the thing for like 5 or 6 years, and the Knicks brought in Clarence Weatherspoon. They brought in a bunch of dudes that fit that archetype, right? Mm-hmm. And they drafted John Thomas for Marbury, and you could just see like.
Then they doubled down and drafted Sweetney. I'm not going to do it to y'all tonight. We are celebrating the NBA champions, the 2026 New York Knicks, let me go through a couple of names here, Freezer. Not in no rapid nothing, but just, you know, how do you feel about them just kind of individually, and, you know, how fans kind of view them? Not that fans should take our thoughts or views or whatever, but a fair assessment. Mikal Bridges.
How do I feel about him?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the perfect glue guy, in my opinion. And here's the thing: if we had drafted Bridges and he had developed into this guy right now that we have, Knicks fans would be saying he was one of the greatest draft picks ever. Unfortunately, the Knicks paid 5 draft picks for him and 2 pick swaps for him. Right. So if the price tag notwithstanding, Mikal Bridges is a top 5 shooting guard in Knicks history. Easy. And I mean easily a top 5 shooting guard in Knicks history. And I mean easily, like, it might not even be top 5. It might be top 3 when you think about all the shooting guards the Knicks have had over the years. Right? If you think about OG Anunoby, like OG Anunoby has only been here 2.5 seasons. Bridges has been here 2 seasons. Cat has been here 2 seasons. And if you take away what the Knicks paid versus what the Knicks are getting, easily the Knicks underpaid for those guys. Easily underpaid. Right? Because in the Cat trade, they really didn't trade. They didn't really give away much draft capital. In the OG trade, they didn't give away much draft capital. In the Bridges trade, they gave away a lot of draft capital. But if you put all those 3 together, and yes, you can do that because all of them are starters, and all of them are here for the short, immediate, and long term, we think. Easily, Mikal Bridges, like, you don't even, like, for instance, right now, most folks can't even remember Mikal Bridges in Brooklyn.
Facts.
Like, you don't even remember that stretch he played in Brooklyn.
Facts.
All you know Mikal Bridges for is Villanova and the Knicks. And I know there are some that might say that, you know, you can upgrade Bridges. But the thing about that is, the thing I learned in life is sometimes when the groove is grooving,
don't disturb this groove.
Don't disturb this groove, man. Right? Why would you when this formula works? Why would you complain about it if this formula works?
It works. It works. You know, you can always make it better internally. You know, you can't forecast what another team will do, how another team values your potential free agents. Like, can I see New Orleans saying, Mitch, come home in this crazy contract? Sure.
Yeah, it happens. Yep.
Can I see the Lakers going, hey, Mitch, starting job here for you. Yep. We need a defensive anchor. Here's this crazy money. It happens.
Yep, it happens.
Right? So something like that, it just takes collaboration. You know, like, Mitch, yeah, you could get more money elsewhere. But who took care of you?
Yeah.
Who nurtured you?
Yeah, Mitch, you could probably get more minutes elsewhere.
Your body has never been able to play a great deal of minutes. Who figured out the most effective way to use you?
Right.
We did.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? When you came here, you had on a 4X suit jacket. Couldn't put 2 words together.
Right.
Right? Now look at you. Got this endorsement deal, that endorsement deal. You out here riding around in big trucks and, you know, cowboy hats and all.
Park where you want to park.
Park where you want to park.
People will steal your truck. They know who that truck belongs to.
That's Mitch.
Yeah.
You rolling through the streets like you money making Mitch.
Right.
You money making Mitch, baby. Like, you could get more elsewhere, but can you get more elsewhere? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes the grass is not greener.
Sometimes you got to look at the total package.
Yeah.
You might get more money, but will you get more of this? See, this right here, you can't get nowhere else. You know why? Because the Knicks are the champs.
Yeah. Where else you going with the champ right now? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're looking for you're on a championship squad, but you're looking for a championship squad. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Mitch is a Knick. And number 23 will be retired. And I know people say, man, you can't retire everybody number. Wait a minute.
Why not?
The Knicks have done this before. A team wins a championship and they retire a bunch of dudes' numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I expect, well, we know JB's probably his is going to the rafters probably the beginning of next year, They could do a special ceremony and just retire it now. Yeah. But Bridges, Josh at some point, Cat. But this is what, just to our earlier points, this is the atmosphere that they have cultivated with this regime, and we haven't even begun to talk about Leon and the job he's done
right
in the 5+ years.
Yeah.
Sometimes, Freezie, when you trying shit out, you trying out a new recipe for something or whatever, not everything you do is going to be 100%. Life just doesn't work like that.
Nah, life don't work like that, bro.
It don't. So when he made mistakes of the Kemba Walker, Fournier, shit like that, it's not like he said or he ever said we were building a championship that year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you get hold the fort type of players.
Right.
Just for that, just to hold the fort until you're able to execute your plan.
Right.
The Knicks didn't wake up the day before the Cat trade and said, oh, that, Minnesota made us an offer and we got to take this. They had been dancing with Cat for like 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They were dancing with Donovan. They were dancing with Cat. So, but in order to get things done, deals don't get done just because we as fans want it done.
Right.
You got to sit sometimes and wait. Wait. You've gone fishing. You know what kind of patient man it takes to fish? You can be out there all day.
All day.
Nothing. But if your livelihood depends on the fish, you got to come back tomorrow.
Yeah.
And the next day. And that's kind of like an executive, how you build a team. Like I was watching a documentary recently on the Trailblazers, when they were calling them the Jailblazers and whatever. And the GM at the time, his name is skipping me, like how him and the new owner, because the new owner came in with all this money and was like, look, I want to win the championship as soon as possible. Yeah. And he just goes about it. It's just like, you know what? I'll take him, I'll throw him together, and then here comes, and then I'll sign Scottie Pippen.
And they're drafting great players like Jermaine O'Neal, who have to sit
drafting Jermaine O'Neal
for like 3 years.
Yeah, but you're throwing all of these undoubtedly super talented type of guys, right, together. But there's no commonality because within the group of that group, there's little pockets that rock together.
Right.
And then there's an uncontrollable force in Rashid that you can't calm down.
Right.
And you're expecting to win a championship like that?
Right. Right.
See what I'm saying? When they were in that position to literally, because we don't know what would have happened with the Lakers after that. Right?
Yep. Yep.
They were less than 9 minutes to go from ending that particular part of a verdict. Yeah, they probably kept it together because Kobe was still young and Shaq was, but remember what they look like. Okay? But no real leadership to take it home.
Right.
Look at JB.
Yeah.
Look at how the Knicks systematically just kept chipping away. Got a 29-point lead and chipping away. And you don't even realize that within these moments of brilliance by OG, JB's hunting, big bear hunting. He hunts a 7'5" motherfucker, catches him on the way.
And uses his momentum against them. Right.
Right?
Yeah.
To his credit, he's defensive player of the year. He takes the challenge.
Yeah.
Right? JB catches him again. Closeout game. Ha. Hezzy won. You can't do 2 Hezzies in the lane, Freezie. You're not supposed to be able to do 2 Hezzies in the lane.
Nobody told Jalen Brunson that. No, Jalen Brunson did whatever it takes to win, bro.
And you have a damn umbrella over your head. Right? Who's literally tracking you, and 9 times out of 10, I'm no science major, but that's a 9-foot wingspan. JB doesn't go to the left hand. JB goes to the right hand. You can't.
Whatever it takes.
You got to go even further.
Yeah. Without fouling, too, by the way. Bro, I got one other thing real quick. I gotta ask you before we wrap up, bro. Is OG Anunoby's tipping at the buzzer the greatest shot in NBA Finals history?
Yes. Pretty simple.
The hand of God, bro.
The hand of God.
Like the hand of God, bro.
Hand of God.
Knicks fans, thank y'all for coming through and rocking, man. We appreciate y'all hanging out with your main man, the #1 chief rocker.
We're back!
And Anthony D. Man,
and we came back as champions.
As champions and saying it with our chest.
Conquering heroes.
Saying it with our chest. And saying it with our chest. I think I got one more to go. I think I'm gonna celebrate one more time, maybe tomorrow. I'm gonna celebrate one more time, man.
We don't.
You know what, AD? You know what?
I'm celebrating shit. I'm celebrating for this. I made a commitment. I'm wearing Knicks something for the next year straight.
Every day.
When I lay out the fall wardrobe, when I lay out the fall, I've already got the fall already.
Ready.
Fuck a summer.
Hey, fuck a summer. It's championship summer. It's championship summer.
It's what Freezie. It's so still so surreal. You know what I mean? Right. It's like my pops got me into being a Knicks fan. When I think of him not being here, to experience it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And just for so many people who, I think I heard you say it, for so many people who are no longer here that were Knicks fans.
Bro, when OG threw that ball in the sky, bro, it brought tears to my eyes, bro. Man, my wife, Uncle Melvin used to tell me stuff about the Knicks, bro. He's like, Windmill Phil used to come off the bench and hack your big man to death. Shout out to Uncle Melvin. He not looking at it. He not looking at it with us. He's looking at this Knicks championship from he got better seats than we got.
This is for them. This is for them too, man. When we pour out that liquor for them, we pour out whatever. You know what I mean? This is for everybody. This is for the Tory B's of the world. I've heard her talk about her Knick journey. You know what I mean? Allah wives of the world. I've heard her talk about his Knick journey. You know what I mean? There's so many of the cats over the years that I've seen, the real people, the Ralphies, the Parish Duggars, the Davids, you know what I mean? It's just all of you. You know what I'm saying? Just, I know when I see the people in the chat and this chat, I know the real Knick people. I know bots and I know the real Knick people.
Yeah.
Even the ones we disagree with, we were disagreeing with in this journey or whatever. I know all of you were emotional.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I know every single one of you were emotional. Exactly. Pistol. Rest in peace, Staffordon.
Yeah.
Right? So many.
Shout out to Staffordon. He got better seats than us.
Yeah, man. Just so many people, that was just invested and are invested.
Since day one, since Clyde Frazier. I was a little boy. Clyde Frazier asked me what my name was. I was like, my name Uncle Freezie. He was like, hello there, Uncle Freezie. Back in 1974.
You know what I mean? You're
a little small to be an Uncle Freezie. I know that's just what they call me, Clyde. I mean,
yeah, man. We're just invested, and the love is so real. From seeing. I remember when this town was trying to run Spike Lee out of town because the exchanges with Reggie.
Yeah.
But that drama on the New York stage, they made documentaries about that. Right? Because it only can happen here. So like how I started, whatever, when we devalued our own product.
Yeah.
When we didn't see the vision that this day would come, like we couldn't really see that, a champion should be in the best city.
Yeah.
The most valued franchise is supposed to have a championship.
Supposed to.
How do you make the most money for the business, but yet still your rings are dusty?
Yeah. I bet you the rings that Dolan get for these cats, bro.
Ooh.
Bro, the rings on ring night.
You know how it's gonna be. They're gonna be fire. They're gonna be fire. He did something today. He said he made a commitment. He said, and the wives and the others are getting rings. Now, damn well, you go to no woman with no proper diamond.
It's unacceptable.
Especially a situation of this magnitude.
Yeah.
Once you committed to the women, and you said y'all getting rings too, I guarantee you're going to have significant input.
Yeah.
And how the ladies decide that what this is going to look like, not only for my husband or my boo, my significant other, the generational leader of wealth of our family, but mine gotta look good too.
Oh man, I gotta read these super chats real quick, man. I forgot, man.
Yes.
Hey, Virtuoso, thank you for the generous contribution. Virtuoso says, when you go to the Sistine Chapel in Rome, look up to the ceiling, and you'll see a painting of OG's legendary flight for the game-winning tip-in. Absolutely. And Paris Duggar, thank you for the generous contribution. Paris Duggar says, Garfield heard June 4th, 1976, Phoenix Suns beat the Celtics. Game buzzer beater to win a championship. Yeah.
That was a hell of a...
Paris,
three overtimes, 4 overtimes?
The thing about that, though, remember the Celtics still won the championship. The Phoenix Suns didn't win a championship, right? Gar Heard hit that shot so they can go into triple overtime.
Yeah.
And the Celtics beat them. I think he hit that shot to go into double overtime.
Right.
And then the Celtics beat them in overtime to win that. So I mean, it was still a great shot though, and it would have. And if there was a 3-point line, they would have won it. They would have won it. I remember watching that, like years and years ago, man. One of the greatest shots ever. One of the greatest shots.
The OG ever. Shot is it's poetic. Like the moment someone's in the hand of God, it was like, yes, that's it. Yeah. That's it.
But Paris Duggar, remember that? Paris Duggar's an OG. You remember Gar?
Yeah, that was a hell of, because remember they were in there sweating, no damn AC.
Nope.
People fainting away. Yep. No, that was blood and guts.
That was a different type of man.
That was a different type of NBA back then. You know.
Yeah, man.
We complaining about, you know, the physicality of this series or whatever. They'd have told you to shut up.
Back then they'd have called you soft. Now they man, yeah, man.
No, that's different styles of NBA, man. But you know, just before we close out, man, just again to everybody, the Herb Williams, old head, the Herb Williams, the Ray Williams, the Mike, rest in peace, Michael. Ray Richardson, Louis Orr, rest in peace, Louis Orr. You know, just so many of the players that came through, Johnny Newman, Kiki Vandeweghe, you know, just so many of the players that came through. You know what I'm saying? Because again, it's not easy to wear this uniform, especially at that time. Now, for the future generations that come here and whatever, especially in the near future, hey, that looks great. I like to go play there.
Yep.
Look at that fan participation. Look at the craze. Look at the craze in the streets every night. Blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks. Everywhere there's a party. I like to go there, but that foundation is the second wave, the second leg. That's no disrespect to 70 and 73.
No.
You know what I'm saying? That was our dads and whatever. This is the next leg.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is where this is built from. So with these kids or whatever, they don't know nothing but a winner.
Hey, there are some kids out there right now that are about 12 years old, and all they know is the Jalen Brunson era, bro.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a hell of a way to start in something.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's a hell of a way to start.
Just want to say this real quick. Shout out to all the old heads in the chat, man. I love and appreciate y'all. Paris Duggar out here jogging our memory, man. I love Paris Duggar, bro. Look, I ain't gonna lie.
Earl Monroe.
Earl Monroe, man. Shout out to old
Rest in peace, Anthony Mason. Yes.
Anthony Mason. Yeah, man. So the only thing I have left before we go, man, is this. New York Jets, y'all on the clock.
And
New York Jets, y'all are on the clock, baby.
And on that note,
longer on the Knicks. The Knicks are no longer on the clock. Let's go.
And on that note, we don't know where this journey started, but once again, it started again with you and the 2026 NBA champions forever and ever, Garvey.
Yeah. Look out your window. Knicks fans is on your block. Y'all know the Knicks run the city. Pull them shades back. Look out your window. Look down there on the block. That's Knicks fans right there. It's about that time. It's about that time of the week where you get ready for your work week with the man that is so smooth he does not require a chaser. Your main man, the real, still the real Anthony D. And your main man, Jersey's finest, the hood representative, Uncle Freezie.